Let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking. I think we're good to go. So,
Is that one of your hairs?
sorry, yeah.
Enormous. I floss my teeth with that. So welcome everybody, and good morning to you all. Good morning, Britain.
We've been getting tips.
I was going to get some of those photographs that Phil Schofield was you. No, actually, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? Okay, I'll just crack on. So here is the news. Good news that to me this morning, and I know I haven't shared this with you because I like to surprise you with this. But there is only really one good news story this morning. I mean, there's lots, right, if you look, but the one that I felt I had to share with you all, because it's made me feel really positive this morning, is that, got to look behind the headlines, the second day running we've had a drop in the number of daily deaths in the UK from coronavirus.
Yeah.
Which is basically proof that social distancing and the measures that we're all having to take and sticking to are working, right?
It's great.
It's got to be, because otherwise you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see in any trend line, you wouldn't see a dip unless the curve was being flattened.
Apart from the purple brick share price.
Apart from purple brick share price. Oh, that was stingy.
I don't feel kind of purple brick.
So that's good news, right? That's got to be good news. That I feel strongly that is showing that the majority of us in the country, because there are still a few plebs out there that aren't paying attention, but the majority of us are actually doing what we're supposed to do, getting on with it, trying to see it out, and the better we do at this, the quicker we go through it. And we will get through it. That's the important thing. Right?
I think that's absolutely the message, isn't it? I think, you know, we've only been indoors for a week properly, and ultimately it's already having an effect. So I think the great positivity from that is if we just keep doing what we're doing and battening down the hatches but working hard from home, actually the whole economy will get through this a lot faster, and ultimately there'll be less people who, you know, are dying from this, and that's the most important thing, really. I mean, I know we talk about business all the time, but ultimately it's about health, and so more, you know, save lives and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good news, right? So that's good news. We're coming to it's we're the end is in sight, right?
I also have a bit of good news, unsurprisingly, that I wanted to share with you that I haven't shared with Brian. He's looking surprised now as well.
We're going for a 6-hour walk today.
No, I spoke to one of our wonderful clients yesterday and friends, Stephen Hurd and his team at My London Home.
Yep.
And they're all working effectively from home because obviously London is on lockdown like everywhere else. But he has been, they're still getting offers. They took 3 offers yesterday.
Brilliant.
And they're agreeing sales. And now they've got, they're prime central, so they're still sort of...
Yeah, people don't turn up in a car to go and view some flats.
There's stuff off plan, there's stuff... But there is still appetite, and I think that was what I wanted to share, was the sentiment is still there for people buying and selling property.
Well, there was a story, I think it was yesterday, maybe over the weekend, about someone being fined for going to view a house.
Oh yeah, I saw that in one of the other groups. That was funny. That was very.
So that's got to be good news. Okay, so the curve we think is beginning to flatten. Number of daily deaths are dropping, which is great for 2 days in a row now. Bit of a trend coming on, so it's good news. The end is in sight.
There's a graph we'll share as well, which I spotted. I actually got it from Sean Adams. I don't know if you're in, Sean, but I saw that graph and I'm going to share it in the group.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, brilliant. The other big good news is that House Party doesn't crash Netflix. As reported that it does.
Okay. You heard it here first. You can carry on using House Party. Maybe we'll use it for this session. Right, okay, everybody. There's a few more people joined us. Hello to everybody.
Good morning.
We've got Josh Rayner, I think, for the first time on here, I saw.
JR.
And we've got Adam Day, of course. We've got Kelly. Fantastic. Okay.
What the virtual Adam Day or the real one?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably virtual.
Right.
I'll never forget that day we stole a speedboat in the virtual world. Fun times.
Good. Come on then, let's get going.
Right, theme for the day. So essentially leadership, okay? And in that book he talks about something called VUCA, okay? And I know Brian gets fed up with me going on about these theoretical things, but when I first read this book 5 years ago, I thought, what on earth is VUCA and how is it even relevant? And it stands for volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous, and it's basically leadership in a world like that. And I tell you what, that is right now. Everything is so volatile, it's so uncertain, it's totally complex, and it's completely ambiguous. So I thought, I need to reread this book, I need to get stuck back into it. And you know, you can see it, it's this big, so I'm not going to download it all with you, but there's some key points that I wanted to share with you all that you guys can really take away and think about, am I being that kind of person, and therefore am I being an effective leader? And the thing that they talked about, and this was modelled on the All Blacks, you know, rugby team?
What VUCA was?
No, what I'm about to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Mental toughness.
What, frigate in the fridge?
Who?
Jonah Lomu, fridge. New Zealand rugby team.
Is that Joe?
No, go on, sorry, go on, carry on.
So it was modelled, this mental toughness model was done based on the All Blacks when they were really at the height of their performance, which they have been for many years.
Okay.
And Brian's told me off about this because he says I do too many 5 C's and 4 P's and 3 D's and all these sorts of things. But I've done it anyway, but I promise I won't do it the next days following because Brian will really tell me off. So grab a pen and write these down, okay? This is leadership, mental toughness, and what you need to check that you are absolutely being as a leader, no matter what position you are in the business, okay? So we start with 5 C's. Got to be confident, okay? You've got to have confidence right now. I said to somebody asked me how I was feeling last week, and I said,
Drunk.
Drunk, and after that, smiling out on the outside, screaming on the inside was pretty much what I said. Okay, that's all of us. We all feel like that, especially Brian screaming on the outside.
Yeah, I'm screaming on the outside and the inside.
So confidence. Okay, that's the first C. The next one is concentration. Okay, we are in a completely different world right now, and we've still got to be able to have that concentration. It's something that I have been struggling with. But you know, you've got to try and have your breaks, have your focus, have your breaks, and just stay concentrating. Composure. Your customers and your team around you expect you to be composed. Okay, that's certainly what people hopefully expect from us on here. Although whether you're getting it or not, I'm not sure. Next one, you've got to keep control. Is the 4th C. Are you in control of what is going on? And the reality is, in fact, I don't know whether Dan Pepperell's on here, but he once said to me, don't worry about what you can't control. And that's actually a really great piece of advice, because if it's, at the moment, we can't control coronavirus.
We used to call that in the days of, in leadership, in the days of running some very large estate agents that I had the pleasure and privilege of doing, we used to call it, you know, fight the battles you can win. You know, because you can get some, there are some wins in there.
Yeah.
The war takes a long time potentially, but actually focus on the battles you can win.
Absolutely.
Control the controllables.
And that's it. And I used to spend a lot of time worrying about stuff I couldn't control. And actually, when you stop doing that, at the moment we can't control coronavirus, but we can control our behaviours and how we act in our businesses and working from home. So that's the
so that's confidence, concentration, composure, control,
and completion is the 5th C. And I wish I was talking about house completions, but what I'm actually talking about is focusing on what we're going to look like when this is over. So what does our completed task look like? How do we emerge from this? And having a vision for what that looks like. And I know we're in an unusual world, but...
No, that's actually a really good point. You just got me thinking. I mean, and this is probably, I mean, it's all good advice, but actually that's a really key one. We're not going to last, this isn't going to last forever, okay?
No.
So what are you going to do? What is your plan, your completion plan as businesses and individuals for when the government, let's say for example, tomorrow morning the government went, do you know what? Everything's good, sun's shining, we've got it under control, you can go back to work, right? What is the plan to get back into your environment, your working environment again as a team? What are your thoughts? What processes do you need to follow now to reverse out of home working?
Absolutely.
Start planning for it.
Because we're not going to be like this forever. We might adapt our styles, but you're absolutely right. What does it, you know, because it's not going to be forever.
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
gives you something. That then leads to all the confidence and the positivity and all those things. Anyway,
Completely.
on to the 5 P's, okay?
So
P's.
we've got 5 C's. How many P's we got now?
5.
5, that's it. There's only 4 on there.
No, there isn't.
Go on.
Okay, practice. We obviously are biased with this, okay? But learning is key. And I've seen some news this morning that LSL have decided to train all of their teams in cross disciplines, which I think actually is a fantastic move. So they've decided if you're an estate agent, i.e. a sales agent, you're going to learn lettings during this time of lockdown. Or you're going to learn financial services, or you're going to learn conveyancing. And that is actually phenomenal use of time right now.
Yeah, it's also very cleverly commercial.
Go on.
It's not an Etch a Sketch, by the way. It's an iPad. I wish it was an Etch a Sketch. If anyone's got one, I used to love them. I think it's on things with the jobbies, isn't it? That used to spin.
Yeah.
You can do like house.
He has got one of those.
Yeah.
So the first P is practice. The second P is precision. Everything you do right now, despite the uncertainty, needs to be done with precision. So think about the task in hand, think about the mission for the day or the next 90 minutes or however you're breaking things up based on our advice, and do your tasks with precision. Okay? It's quite clear on that. Third P, problem solving.
Like it.
And my God, haven't we got a problem solved right now?
Yep.
Especially, Brian is speaking constantly to buyers and sellers of homes at the moment who basically can't exchange contracts or their solicitors won't play ball. And he is problem solving constantly, using his eel, when he's wearing his other hat, not his All-Stars hat, of being able to help these people to basically solve their problem, which is they want to buy the property, they want to lock it in, but they have to...
Yeah, and do you know what? It feels good, actually. I'm sure you've all got stories amongst you where you're actually have been speaking to your clients over the last few days and actually thanking you for the advice you've been giving them.
Absolutely.
You're actually making a positive difference. You know?
Well, and these guys are problem solving on a daily basis right now. Oh, Brian's telling me off because we're running over time again. Not like Brian, any of those has seen us train. The fourth P is positive.
Yay!
That's Brian.
Positive outcomes. Think about your positive outcome.
Yeah.
Before you're going to do something, think about the positivity. I used to feel like that about countrywide board meetings. Not positive about them. I used to hate them. No offence if anyone who's watching that used to sit on those tables with me. But actually I used to think, right, I've got to go in there at 9 o'clock. 4 o'clock will come. I can't wait till it's a focus on 4 o'clock. My God, did I feel good walking out that building.
That's the completion. You're
Yeah,
right.
it was both.
But obviously we don't need to tell you, and it's desperately hard to be positive, but if you're struggling to be positive, pick up the phone. We're feeling pretty positive right now, and we'll always give you a little bit of our positivity as much as we can. And the fifth P, finally, is you've got to perform. You are a performer right now. There is a lot riding on the next few weeks. The cream really will rise to the top. And you've got the opportunity here to demonstrate your performance. So that's the 5 C's and the 5 P's, and I'm going to put them into nice little... I'm going to do it on Canva, which we told you about earlier in the week.
We've got 6 D's and 8 A's next week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I'm not allowed to do any more P's and C's anymore.
We'll get through the alphabet by the end of next week.
But what I'm trying to demonstrate there is you can... They are actually very good, aren't they?
Yeah. I was actually... She wasn't joking either. VUCA is actually a real thing. It's an acronym first used in 1987 by the leadership roles of Warren Bennis to describe. It was used at the US Army War College.
I definitely would not like.
No, I know. I thought it was a car. Anyway,
but I'll share all this in the group. Okie dokie. So.
Just to recap, the C's: confidence, concentration, composure, control, completion. The 4 P's: practice, precision, problem solving, positivity, and performer.
That was 5.
Did I say 4?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Now on to our recommendations because we've run over by only 2 minutes, but it's not bad for
We're getting
us.
faster.
We are getting a bit faster.
Good.
Thank you for all of those that are still with us. Right. So. Thank you for all of those that are still with us. Right. So.
Is this the colouring book one?
This is the colouring book, right? So I promised a non-screen time one. So we've got Stephen Brown Art. Not Stephen Brown, our esteemed colleague within the industry.
Yeah, but Stephen might have actually branched out now, you never know.
It's spelled ever slightly differently.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
I'll share the link to his Facebook page. But basically...
Top man, by the way.
Who? Which one?
Both of them.
Both of them. Okay, but Stephen Brown Art, on his website, you can download colouring books, and it's really gorgeous animals. They're really brilliant. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Awesome.
So you can do that later on today, this
I
afternoon.
used to sit like colouring as a kid. And my tongue out for some reason, I don't know why.
Tech. Okay, so this is an interesting one because I said that we'd share stuff that's for free, but most tech businesses right now are starting to charge, as you can imagine, because they're obviously desperately trying to take advantage of the situation, which is fine. But this one is a fantastic one called Outgrow.co. Okay, I'll share it in the group again. And this is about making quizzes and sort of like your downloadable guide type stuff. It's very good. You play on your Etch a Sketch.
Yeah.
I'll share it in the group, but it's really really good.
Babbel.
Babbel.
Learn a language, right? I really want to learn a language.
Yeah.
Babbel is brilliant. You get 6 months for free, so you can pretty much learn Spanish within that time.
I reckon so.
Or Dutch. I was talking Dutch, didn't you? Yes.
Watch this space for what Brian's
We'll
going to...
continue to do this tomorrow from here from Holland.
Okay.
Binge watch. Yeah, binge watch. Right. So my kids got me into this actually, and I think it's really funny. It's called White Gold, and it's on Netflix. Don't forget you can use House Party and Netflix. Binge watch White Gold. 2 seasons. Funny as hell. It reminds me of my days at Manico in 1988. Actually,
Very funny.
proper White Sock Brigade, cool suits.
Yeah.
And they were cool suits. They're not now, but they were then.
We chose that one because we're giving you some pretty heavy binge watching guides this week, but that
Yeah.
one's actually a bit more fun. And
Yeah,
then,
White Gold.
and then finally, linked to today's theme for the day, which was leadership, our reading recommendation or audio recommendation. We are huge fans of Simon Sinek. Brian got me into Simon Sinek. If you don't know who he is, go and Google him and look him up. But he's written so many fantastic books, and I can't really choose.
Yeah.
But for today, the most relevant one is called his latest one, which is The Infinite Game. So I just recommend that you check that out because it's absolutely superb. Everything that he's done is brilliant, but I didn't want to recommend them all, obviously.
Okay, we've overrun by 5 minutes. We're getting faster. We're going to let you get on with your day. Just big shout out to Brian Farrell from Barcelona. Hi, Brian. Hope you're we've got international guests now, which is great.
Tom
Really-
Bailey's on as well. He's
Tom
practically
Bailey.
international. Newcastle's quite far away.
Yeah, that's fair. That's quite Scotland, isn't it? Is it
Yeah.
Scotland up there somewhere?
Pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
Hope you're all healthy and well, and we'll be here tomorrow, 9:15.
Yeah. News about the quiz tomorrow, so tune in and we'll give you the updates on the quiz. We're going to start our great property estate agency quiz tomorrow. So have a great day, be positive, have some C's, eat lots of peas, and have a few potatoes. I'm having a bit of bacon now. Thanks everybody, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.